Folks, we have a lot of stocks to break down in this video with little time to waste, so let's dive into it. Of course, if you guys find value, take a sip of your coffee. Well, you're going to need that whether you find value or not, but if you do find value, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe as well, and feel free to get some free stocks for Moomoo, up to 15 stocks for Moomoo, and up to 12 stocks from Webull. Link down below. The Patreon's down below as well if you guys want to join that and check it out. And with that being said, let's dive into it. So let's just get into these stocks, guys, right off the bat with number one, which is Walmart. And in this video, we're going to talk about a lot of companies that are reporting earnings. And quite frankly, I might make a part two. Because there's about 20 companies that are worth talking about that are reporting earnings this week. So Walmart is number one. They report on Tuesday, I believe in the morning. They're always in the morning. Let me double check though. On the 21st in the morning. That's on Tuesday. And right off the bat, guys, we can see Walmart's chart is not looking that bad. We can see a clear uptrend that is holding, and based on last week, we actually got above not only the 50 SMA, but also the 180 SMA. So it looks like we're holding an uptrend. We're starting to break back over those moving averages, and you can argue we have an inverse head and shoulders here. Let me actually zoom out a little bit. It's not the most clean inverse head and shoulders, but I guess you could argue that it is one nonetheless. You guys have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. Now we're starting to pop again over those moving averages, and we're on the verge of breaking out right now, especially if this breaks above. If it breaks above 148, it will be breaking out, right? I'm going to set my alert right there at 148. You guys can see this has been resistance for a couple weeks. If I show you guys on the 4-hour chart, more than just a couple weeks, almost 2.5 months at this point, Walmart's failed at 148. So if this does take out 148, we're going to potentially shoot towards that mid 150 mark, which is where the stock was in the end of November. You guys can see right here on the stock chart. So Walmart's looking to do EPS of $1.51 on revenue of $159.76 billion, which would be up about 4.5% year over year. Not bad, but not good, but not bad either. We're going to see some companies in this video that are declining. Their revenues are declining pretty massively year over year. Walmart's not one of those, which again, pretty good. That's a pretty good sign. And these numbers that we're going to talk about today, EPS, revenue, keep in mind these are all estimates. We don't know exactly what these companies are going to report, but we do know the estimates from analysts. Analysts cover these different stocks we're going to talk about today. Some are covered more than others, and we're just talking about the estimates that they have come down to. So Walmart, again, 4.5% revenue growth year over year. Not bad. EPS of $1.51, and it's on the verge of breaking out. If this thing could take out 148 into the 150s, that's going to be very good for the bulls. Now, stock number two, guys, for this video is none other than Home Depot. Let's pull it up. Ticker symbol HD, which this stock has been, talk about choppiness, guys. This stock has been all over the place the past couple months, from about 310 on the downside, or on the bottom side rather, which I'm not going to lie, we've held that as support, which is good for the bulls, but it's gone up to about 340 to 345 multiple times. So we've been bouncing up from 310 to 340, 45 multiple times, and at this point, it looks like we're getting back down to retest 310 to about $312, which you can see has held. And if that point ends up breaking for the bulls here, of course, that's not going to be good at all. So I'm going to set my alert at 310, mark is at or below, but I'm also going to set an alert here at maybe 325, mark is at or above, to see if it could break over those moving averages on the 4-hour. If it does, from that point, maybe we start running 335, maybe back to 340. These are some gaps that could fill on the upside. So Home Depot is looking to do EPS of 327 on revenue of 35.97 billion estimated, which will be up about, here comes a sneeze, guys. Oh man, what's up with me sneezing on these videos lately and actually not being able to get it out? I promise, I'm trying to get my sneeze out, guys, but it just won't come out. Anyway, it went away. Either way, EPS for Home Depot, $3.27 on revenue of $35.97 billion, which is going to be up 0.7% year over year. Pretty much flat, year over year on revenue. So we have to wait and see direction. Earnings are coming out on Tuesday morning, same as Walmart. We have to wait and see direction here. Do we fall under 310? to then start going down. Probably 300 would be a gap on the downside. We'll see where it goes from 300, but 310 to 300, that's definitely possible. Or do we break 320, 325? We start moving from there, 335, 340. Time will tell, guys. So Home Depot looks pretty interesting. I'm excited for the earnings, and we'll see what direction it ends up picking. We also have FANG, which is not Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, guys. That's kind of an old saying at this point. No one really uses that term anymore. But FANG is Diamondback Energy. Ticker symbol, well, FANG. You guys probably got that from me saying FANG, right? This stock has been all over the place as well, and it's been trending down, since the middle of November. We can see this company hit about 168, 69 bucks. Now it's at 135. It is down about 20%, pretty much in a bear market right now from the end of November. But with that being said, we're still fighting to hold an uptrend. You guys see this, right? We're in a wedge. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where we're at right now on Diamondback Energy. We're making higher lows. You guys see all these higher lows that are being made, and we're at one right now. I mean, right at the mid 130s, 135. But at the same time, we're making lower highs. You guys clearly see that. So what's going to happen? I mean, if we take out on the bottom side, we take out where we're at now, 130, 135, we start falling under this wedge. Obviously, that's not going to be good for the bulls. That's going to be a break in trend, and we're going to have some more downside most likely. Maybe down to 115, 120 bucks. These are some gaps on the downside that could fill. So we have Diamondback Energy reporting on Tuesday, which is after the bell, whereas Walmart, Home Depot, they're before the bell. So they're looking to do EPS of 523 on revenue of 2.09 billion, which would be up about 3.5% year over year. Not too bad, but of course not great either, not even anywhere near great. It's just going to be pretty much flat rev growth. So I'm going to set my alert. Let me do this now at 130 bucks. Mark is at or below, and we'll end up seeing where it goes from that point. If it breaks 130, guys, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's not going to be good. Let's just be honest. So that is Diamondback Energy. Oh, I almost forgot. We also have Coinbase. I couldn't pull the numbers on Coinbase, what their estimates are, but either way, we have Coinbase this week that they're on Tuesday, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, they're on Tuesday. They're on Tuesday after the bell. That's the 21st. So watch out for Coinbase. Of course, this is one that's up a crap ton heading into earnings. I mean, this thing is up from 31 bucks in just the beginning of January. So we're talking a month and a half ago. It went from 31 all the way up to almost 90. That is insane. Now it's, cooled off a good amount. It's in the mid 60s. So keep that in mind. It's still up a lot. It's still up over 100%. If these numbers come out, they disappoint, this could be getting ready for a massive dump. Keep that in mind. I'm not trying to freak you guys out, but you got to keep that in mind. And we have a lot of other companies on Tuesday as well, but we're not going to be able to talk about each one in this video. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video, a part 2 to this. I might do that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well, because I'm probably going to do that. And mind you, the markets are closed tomorrow, so keep that in mind. But Coinbase right now is what I'm watching. Toll Brothers is on Tuesday. We also have Realty Income. We have Caesars, which we'll talk about these in the next video. We'll talk about Caesars Entertainment, Realty Income, Toll Brothers. Let's take a look at what's going on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have NVIDIA, guys. This is going to be a big one. This stock is up a ton. It's pretty much doubled up in the past couple months, like a lot of stocks have off the lows, especially the growth stocks, right? NVIDIA's on Wednesday. They're reporting after the bell. Let me double check that. Yeah, after the bell on Wednesday. And this thing, again, is up a ton. And last week, it's actually started to pull back a bit from 230. It closed on Friday at 213. So it is down about 8% in just the past couple days. But to be honest, there could be more downside to come. If we just draw out some lines here, you guys are going to see a big level of support coming up is at 190. And mind you, the stock's at 213. Could have some more downside to go. You guys can see 190 is right by the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour. But 190 was also resistance back in August, back in the middle of December. So that could be where we do come down to if these earnings disappoint, or maybe they're just not as good as expected, because NVIDIA is looking to do revenue of $6 billion, which would be down 21% year over year. Sure, that's probably priced in, but to what extent? I mean, what if it's worse than that? What if guidance shows revenue is going to continue to weaken. I don't know. And they're looking to do EPS of 81 cents. So I think this is one worth watching for sure. I'm not FOMOing into it on any little mini sign of a pullback, which is what we got now. But if it does come down a little bit more, maybe another 10, 15 bucks a share, I'm going to start looking at it as a potential trade, and we'll see what the earnings look like, even if that means I missed the move. You guys know I'm not a big earnings gambler. I don't do that. I haven't done that in years. I used to do it when I first started trading, made some money, lost some money. You guys know how that goes. But nowadays, I just wait for companies to report numbers, even if that means I miss out on the move. And we talked about a lot of companies last week that reported numbers, and they shot up like crazy, and quite frankly, I missed the move, but it's all good because it could go in either direction. That's what you guys have to realize. So NVIDIA, I'm excited about. Etsy, I'm also excited about. They're reporting on Wednesday. They're looking to do EPS of 82 cents on revenue of $750 million, which would be up about 5%. Not bad, but not, of course, great either. 5% roughly year-over-year revenue growth. And this company, guys, the stock rather, looks pretty good. The chart looks good. I'm not going to lie. This thing's been uptrending for months. Sure, we did pull back a little bit in the past couple weeks, week or two, whatever that is, throughout the course of February, we've pulled back. But guys, the trend is still holding, and we can see here that Head and Shoulders that pretty much played out. It kind of already played out. Maybe there is a little more downside on the right shoulder, maybe down to 120, 125. But what I'm trying to get at here is we could be due for some sort of short-term bounce, maybe, a relief rally, maybe even heading into earnings. I don't know. It's risky because we do have earnings on Wednesday, so that's more early in the week, but we'll see. Before earnings, after earnings, what happens? Either way, the trend's holding. We're oversold a bit heading into earnings. It's down about, let's see here, 15%, so well into correction territory. Let's see what happens at about 120, 125, 130. Are the bulls going to respect the uptrend, or are we going to collapse under the trend? And of course, at that point, bears are going to gain momentum. So those are two main companies on Wednesday that are reporting. We also have a couple other ones, of course, that we'll talk about in part two. Baidu, TJ Maxx, or not TJ Maxx. Well, they own TJ Maxx. TJX is the company, right? Lucid Motors, Run, which is Sunrun. And actually, I saw a Lucid car maybe for the first time ever a couple weeks ago. I think I was at the gym or something. Where the heck was I? I don't even remember. I was out and about, and I saw one on the road. I was like, oh, look at that. That's a Lucid. I've never seen one before. And of course, they're not a mass. They're not producing these in mass yet. Quite frankly, I don't even know how many they've produced, delivered, and so forth, but I can tell you for sure it's not many. It's not many. But yeah, I saw Lucid. They're reporting on Wednesday. We also have Sunrun on Wednesday. And let's continue now on to Thursday, because we have a lot of companies that I like on Thursday that I'm watching, some of which I own, really just one, which is this one, Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. Alibaba has come down a good amount. If you guys haven't realized, it's down from 120 in in the past couple weeks to now under $100. It is down about 18-19% during that time, and the trend is still holding, although we are under the moving averages now, and we have a death cross, which isn't the best sign. The trend's still holding, and we'll see what happens heading into these earnings on Thursday. Do we get a little spike back? Maybe we start to challenge the moving averages being about 108, 110, hence why my alert's at 110. Or do we just completely collapse and start to go down to, let's say, $95? That was the high from, you guys can see here, let's zoom in a little bit. 95 was the high from, pretty much all of December. Do we go to 95? Maybe then fill the gap down to 85, 86? Or do we hop or, bounce and see, buying pressure here at about 98, 100, 102. It all comes down to these earnings, guys, where they're looking to do EPS of 2.37, or in other words, $2.37. I don't know why I said it like that. On revenue of $35.7 billion, which is up roughly 6%. So let's see what happens here, guys. It is a little overbought, or rather oversold heading into earnings, and 95 to 100, that's a big level of support for the bulls on Alibaba. We also have Domino's. I know you guys probably used to crush a lot of Domino's. Maybe you still do. I can tell you for sure, back in college and in my early 20s, teens in general, I was crushing Domino's a lot with the boys, right? With the fellas, guys. I'm going to be honest. After a night of, getting maybe a little bit too rowdy in my younger years, we would always get Domino's afterwards. I don't know why this is I guess it's relevant because we're talking about the stock. And they used to have this deal. I don't know if you guys remember this deal where it'd be like $10, but you get a medium pizza. You each get a dessert. You each get a medium pizza, each get a dessert. Comes with a drink or maybe an appetizer. It was a crazy deal. And we'd crush that. Everyone would get their own piece. It's kind of disgusting now that I think about it, and I actually haven't had Domino's in years. But those were some good times, guys. Those were some good times. And overall, we're noticing the stock's not looking that good. Honestly, the chart on the monthly does not look that great. Well, sure, it's uptrending, which is awesome. But what I want to point out is the head and shoulders, which is clear as day to me. And you can see it even more here on the 3-year. This does not look that great. We have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. This could be setting up for maybe a dump back down to the low 300s potentially if we don't get good numbers. And on the 4-hour, guys, clearly we're still in a downtrend as well. Well, I guess you can argue we're in a wedge, but the bears, in my opinion, have the advantage on this chart, based on what I'm seeing here. So we have earnings on Thursday. They're looking to do $3.96 in EPS on revenue of $1.44 billion, up 7.1% year over year. Not bad. A lot of these stocks, we just have to wait and see direction. I mean, are we going to rip out of 365 on this thing? Maybe take the wedge out on the upside or the top side and start running 375, 380 towards 400. You guys can see that was resistance end of November, early December. Or are we going to dump under 345, 350? Maybe break the bottom of that wedge and start to get at that point more downside. So it all comes down to waiting. It's a waiting game, guys, a patience game, especially around earnings season with a lot of these companies. Because the way I like to trade, and my style, again, I don't like gambling on earnings. It takes even more patience to do that. You have to wait and be patient and see how the numbers are, the guidance, how the stock reacts when it cools off. You kind of have to be very patient and wait for the perfect time to strike, which, quite frankly, with Domino's and a lot of these stocks, I don't think it's the perfect time to strike quite yet, at least in my personal opinion. But either way, I'm watching Domino's. I'm watching Block, SQ. They report on Thursday as well. They're looking to do EPS of 30 cents on revenue of $4.6 billion, which would be up almost 13% year over year. Not bad. So they're looking to do that on Thursday. And we have a head and shoulders that pretty much played out on Square as well. You guys can see here now it's pretty oversold. We're right by a big level of support at about $75. That was resistance all throughout the end of August to about the middle of January. So this is big. We're also right by the 180 SMA on this time frame as well. So what's going to happen at $75? Do we get buyers to come in here, maybe to start running back to the low 80s, high 80s, mid 80s, or do we just collapse right through this point and continue the selling from Friday, which Friday was not a good day, guys. 4.5% red day on Friday for Square, for Block, whatever you want to call it. We'll see. 75 is a very big spot. We also have Mercado Libre this week. Let's pull this up. Mercado Libre, this is one that we called out when it was under 1,000, I believe, a couple weeks ago. Then it ripped through 1,000, filled the gap to 1,100, and got pretty hot to 1,250. You guys can see we hit 1,250 about 2-3 weeks ago in the beginning of February, and now it's pulled back to 1,100. It's down about 12%, and there could be more downside to go. It closed right above 1,100, which you guys can see that was the high from the middle of August. So what are we going to do here? Are we going to hold 1,100? Maybe see a short-term bounce, or are we going to fill the gap down to 1030, 1035, which is right by the 180 SMA? I'm kind of leaning more towards that on Mercado Libre by the looks of it, guys. The head and shoulder still has some more downside or some more room to go, in my opinion, on the right shoulder, which will get us to that 990, 1,000, 1,025 level, which would put us even more oversold and more oversold status, where, who knows, maybe we're going to be in need of a relief rally at that point. We'll see. Earnings are on Thursday for Mercado Libre. They're looking to do EPS of $2.40 on revenue of almost $3 billion, which would be up almost 40%. You heard that right. 40% revenue growth year over year is estimated on Mercado Libre. Not bad. And we also have Intuit, which is the last stock we're going to talk about in this video, guys. I appreciate you all for sticking on throughout. If you did, let me know in the comments. Drop a money emoji or whatever type of emoji, or just say stuck till the end. I appreciate you guys as always. And don't forget to get your free money from Moomoo from Webull. Check out the Patreon as well. Shameless plug, guys. All those are down below. Intuit is INTU. That's the ticker symbol. And They're looking to do EPS of $1.44 on revenue of $2.91 billion, which would be up 8.7% year over year. Not nearly as good as Mercado's 40%, but they're not really related, obviously. But I'm just comparing the growth there. But still, 8.7%. Not bad for Intuit, and the stock is down about from 455 to now 405. It's down about 12% in the past couple weeks, 2 weeks roughly. So maybe we can get a little bounce on this thing. We are also kind of in a wedge on, Intuit. We're more oversold. There's no doubt about it. So let's see what they do or how the earnings look, how the stock reacts at about 395, 400, 405. That is a big level of support, on the stock. So there's a lot more companies, guys, that we could talk about. We also have Toll Brothers, Realty Income, Caesars, like I mentioned earlier in this video, Baidu, TJX, Lucid, Sunrun. On Thursday, we also have Moderna, Newmont, which is a gold company, Nikola, which you guys know Nikola. I don't know about that one. I don't know about buying that one, but we're also going to see them report. Carvana, which you guys know, this has been a manipulated stock recently. This thing's gone ballistic. Now it's sold off, but still it's up a ton from where it was a couple months ago. We also have Warner Brothers, WBD's the ticker on that. Warner Brothers Discovery, they're reporting this week on Thursday. We have Beyond Meat, which you guys know I have a lot of words about. I always talk about that one in a negative way. Beyond Meat's on Thursday. Then we also have EOG Resources on Friday, which we might talk about that in the next video. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Those are the couple of stocks that I'm watching, the main ones that I'm watching for this upcoming week. Let me know what you guys are watching in the comments down below. And if you didn't like the video, well, I don't know what to tell you. But if you did, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to get up to 15 stocks for Moomoo, each up to $2,000 using that link down below, or just simply go to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. That is STASSERFES.com/Moomoo. And you could also get up to 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. All those are down below. And if you guys want to be a part of the Patreon portfolio, the Discord community, you want more access to me throughout the day, and you want to see my chart breakdowns throughout the day, check out the Patreon. That's linked down below. Feel free to check it out. Join. No pressure. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.